Hey everyone, welcome back to Quick Code Wednesdays. My name is Vincent Bortone and I'm a technical manager here at Cognizant Softvision. And today I'm going to be giving you guys a quick demo of Autofixture, a great open source library to help speed up the development of unit tests. Before we get started diving into the code, let's take a look at a quick scenario where I think Autofixture might really come in useful. So what you see on the screen here is we have an order class. As we start writing our unit tests, we discover that the order class is a little more involved than we might have originally believed, right? So if we, as we're starting to write our unit tests, we might discover that we also need to provide references to the customer object or to the order detail class in order to properly test particular methods. Upon further investigation, we might find that there are even more references here. And so this is a scenario where over time, you may be finding yourself writing a ton of mock objects or fakes in order to sort of supply all the appropriate or necessary objects in order to test your classes. And this is the perfect scenario that Autofixture was designed for. All right, now it's time to dive into some code. Today, we'll be using Visual Studio 2019. Our solution, we have two projects in our solution. We have one, sort of our core project, which holds our business objects, and our unit test project, which will hold our unit tests. Both of these projects are in .NET 5, which is the latest .NET framework at the time of this recording. However, this works, Autofixture works great with .NET Core and .NET Framework. I can speak to that firsthand. And so don't let that hold you back from introducing Autofixture into your projects today. So what we have in front of us is we have an order class, sort of similar to the UML diagram we were just discussing earlier. Our order class has a handful of simple properties of integer and string, as well as some references to some additional objects. In the case we have a reference to a shipping address, as well as a collection of order details. The order detail class will store the product and the quantity of that product, and we'll be using that for our calculations. So today our goal is to test the add item method as well as the clear order method, and hopefully quickly show the benefit of utilizing Autofixture in your project. All right, let's go ahead and write some unit tests. So I'm going to go ahead and open the order test class. I've gone ahead and sort of stubbed out some test methods for us to implement. We'll be using the XUnit framework today, and we'll also be using another great open source project called Fluent Assertions, probably honestly worth a video of its own. But today I was showing how you can simplify the assert stage of your unit test with this great library. So let's go ahead. First thing we'll test is the clear order. I'm going to jump back to order really quick. We'll see that the clear order method actually just clears the order details. So let's go ahead and start implementing a test there. So of course, we'll start with an order object. All right, so we have an order now with two order details. So let's, we're not done yet. We still have to finish assigning those order details to the order. So let's go ahead. And now let's assert the class has properly cleared the order out. So like we saw earlier, what happens when we do clear the order is that we want to ensure that the details have been removed. So let's order. What Fluent Assertions will do is we'll introduce a new set of extension methods, or essentially the should extension method, and then underneath that, you a bunch of additional methods to test the ranges for collections. You can test if they're empty or null, or they have a type. You can even check them, make sure things are in a particular order. Again, a very extensive test library. But the nicest thing is that it really gives you this sort of similar to LINQ and sort of building objects in a fluent manner. It gives you that same way to build assertions for your tests. So let's go here. So we're going to say that order detail should have a count of 0. So that ensures that our collection is set. We also know that the total of the order is based on the details of the order. So we also can test that the order total should be 0. All right, so we will save that. Let's go up and we'll run the test. I am also using, you'll see I'll be using JetBrains ReSharper in my Visual Studio. So if you're wondering what tools, nifty little tools I have to run tests and things, it is JetBrains ReSharper. And it passes. Excellent. All right, so we know this test passed, and but in order to just test that, there was a lot involved, right? So we had to create order details, then we had to go back and we realized, we had to create products, right? And so, and that's only 2 levels deep. So yeah, not too bad. But again, could we make this easier? Right? And so this is where Autofixture comes in. Autofixture, again, is we'll install it via NuGet. So today I'm going to bring in, as you can see, there's a bunch of additional, besides the main package, there's a bunch of additional packages to support different mocking frameworks and different testing frameworks. So today we're going to install, actually we'll install XUnit 2. So let's start with those two. Installed. And the beauty of Autofixture is really during that initial arrangement portion of a unit test. If we think of the 3 A's in unit tests, right? We have arrange, act, and assert. So, and in our case here, arranging is the majority of the code, just to set up the test scenario. Whereas ideally, maybe assertion might be the more, the area you want to spend the most time to make sure that you're testing sort of your code from every angle. So let's see how we could take this same test and simplify it a bit. So first things first, let's add here, we're going to add a using statement for using Autofixture. From the fixture, think of the fixture as sort of utilizing a factory pattern, right? So we come in and using a single create method, we can create an object graph. Now create is a generic, has a generic overload here, so we're going to use that. We're going to skip all of the arrangement now because that's exactly what Autofixture will do, is essentially create the child objects for us. So we will go ahead and just bring in the act and assert, order detail, and then we'll go in and we'll use the test output helper that's injected in by from XUnit when the class is created. Write line method in this case from the output helper utilizes sort of a tokenized format, very similar to console write line. So we'll use that same methodology here. So as you can see, after running the test with Autofixture here, I see Autofixture is injecting, it looks like about 3 order details per run. What you see here is you have random values here. You're essentially appending a GUID for the name and a different quantity. Now, and as we run the unit tests over and over again, you'll see that these values change, which is great because now we have we can ensure in multiple different situations with different quantities and different prices that our code still works the same. So let's go ahead and switch gears now and test the add item method. So what if I told you those 2 lines of code, I could get those down to 0, right? So what we'll do is, and how to do that, we're going to use a feature called theory. So a theory in XUnit is a parameterized unit test. And what we'll do with the additional attribute called the auto data attribute, which is introduced as part of the XUnit 2 NuGet package, the autofixture.xunit2. We will be able to inject our objects as method parameters. What we're going to do is, in lieu of time, we're just going to go ahead and cut and paste this method from another source. All right, here we go. We have our test method now. As you can see, we got some red squiggly lines, which means we got some work to do. So as I mentioned before, first thing we'll do is we'll change the fact to a theory. And we'll also use this time to introduce the auto data attribute. So now all we need to do left is introduce our order object. Here in the autos, here you'll see our order object. As you can see, all its child objects have been created. So here we have a reference to a customer. Customer has a reference to different addresses for that customer, and all this sort of object graph has been created for us. So if we go back to our unit test session, we'll see that this test is run and is successful. So there you have it. So Autofixture in a nutshell. Hope you found this brief video informative, and Autofixture a framework that you might want to introduce into your unit tests going forward. Click below on the description and you'll get some links to the source code, the test code you saw today, as well as some links to the Autofixture project on GitHub and a great cheat sheet there on how to sort of configure and tweak some of that the auto generation that I showed you towards the end of the video. Also, while you're down there, please leave us a comment. Tell us how we're doing with these new videos. With our Quick Code Wednesday series. We'd love to hear your feedback. If you have some ideas about topics you'd like to hear about, this would be a great place to let us know. Also, while you're there, you want to keep up to date with what's going on. Click that subscribe button. And that'll keep you informed when new videos come out. And we look forward to having you back next week, this time on Quick Code Wednesdays. I'm Vincent Bortone, and thanks for watching.